All right, sit down, kids. Let Papa Iowa Retro Gamer Dad here tell you a story about what was once a great time in gaming. And many games, two players, everything would have this feature, which was basically multiplayer, local now as you kids call it, but couch co-op games reigned supreme when I was younger, and it seems like that the modern age of gaming and stuff has really moved away from it. They've really pushed off from it. Nowadays, it's very ironic because as the TVs get bigger and more high def and just all around, just basically huge, the couch co-op game has really just stopped. I mean, we've had a couple recent great ones like It Takes Two, No Way Out, and some other ones like that, but gosh, back, even in the Xbox 360 era, we had some great games like Army of Two, Halo, and stuff like that that offered the local co-op gameplay. Nowadays, like I said, it's non-existent. You try to get on Call of Duty, try to get on some of those other ones, and the multiplayer is pretty much gone. Besides having to play online, and I mean, one of the big things I've noticed is that, specifically, like I said, with Call of Duty and stuff, if you want to play with your friends, you can't just go over to their house really anymore, sit down on the couch, play online together, and go. I mean, it's more along the lines now is you have to have separate Xboxes or PlayStations or whatever. You have to have separate systems. You have to be on a network and anything just to, be able to game together. I can go more modern. I can go more retro, like, the retro games like Jackal on the NES. WWF Mercy, WWF, our WrestleMania 2000 on the N64, and just there were so many great options for co-op gaming. And oh god, like I remember playing even a little bit more modern, but even playing like Call of Duty Zombies, you were able to play it with somebody else at your house, like Left 4 Dead 2. Games like that, I mean, and I say it's ironic because when I was younger, we had the Nintendo 64, which a lot of systems back then didn't have the options for up to 4 players to play. We would play games like GoldenEye and stuff like that, and when you would have your first-person shooters, you would each have your own little screen. You can screen peek and stuff like that. But you'd be on standard definition TVs, which were the big box TVs, and you'd each only have one little square. And nowadays, with as big as the TVs are getting, your one little square would almost be the same size as a standard definition TV back then. And I mean, I understand why they want to do this stuff, because there's more stuff involved in gaming nowadays than there was back then. There's not just, a few buttons here, a few schemes here. You have to actually see a lot of what's going on. And then not only that is, it takes a lot to process a lot of what's going on with the game. So, I mean, I understand the fact that why you would get rid of the co-op, but it's still like just kind of, I don't know. I mean, like I said, obviously the single-player games like RPGs back in the day, and some of those other ones, obviously you couldn't play with more than one player. So you got used to playing some single-player adventures by yourself, Fallout, Final Fantasies, everything like that. That stuff was normal for single-player. But when you'd play like one big thing I loved was when we used to go to parties, and when games like Guitar Hero and stuff were huge. You can just sit there taking turns playing it or go against each other. And yeah, that was the cool thing to do. Now if you go to a party and you want to play a video game together, you almost have to take turns playing Warzone or take turns playing some of those other games that are involved. Whereas before it was like, if it was you and a couple bros, you could just go somewhere and hook up Halo, Call of Duty, like I said, Guitar Hero. And then you can just plop down and all 4 of you could play at once if you wanted to. I like I said, don't get me wrong, there is some great ones that came out. Like A Way Out is amazing. I watched people play it. I personally haven't. And that's one of those games that requires 2 people to actually play it no matter what. So you don't have, well, from what I understand, an online or a computer AI to help you through it. You literally have to play with somebody else, which is really cool in my mind. So there is some companies out there that are really still trying to do it. It Takes Two won, I think, Game of the Year 2 or 3 years ago, maybe longer now. I'm lost on time with that one, but that was also a very good story, very good. You had to co-op together to get through it, and I just miss some of that stuff. I mentioned earlier Jackal on the NES, and the only reason I keep coming back to this game, you'll see it in many videos, is because it's one that really stood out to me as a kid. I just love that game so much, and then from the music and everything, and just the opportunity that, yes, you could play it single player, but that game, I thought, really showed its true amazing colors when you'd both just pop on there in your Jeeps, and you'd fly through the levels just shooting. And a lot of guys will tell you the same thing about like Contra and stuff like that, where it was fun by itself, yeah, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times, you know, the games were just a lot better if you could sit down with your buddy and either work your way through it together, or, you know, doing separate things as one. It's sad, guys. I honestly wish that more people could have experienced it, and less of the isolation of any of the games nowadays, because I was trying to, you know, before I did this video, I was looking through some of the other stuff and kind of taking a peek at some of my modern games to see, you know, am I missing any that, you know, really stand out. And even after searching online and stuff like that, I did find that there's no games really nowadays that you can almost locally have more than one player, unless you have multiple systems hooked up and stuff like that. Granted, I do know one thing, though. This is where I think the Switch kind of reigns supreme in the whole current generation war. There is a lot of games on the Switch that you can play with more than one players. Specifically, you know, like the Mario Karts, the Mario Parties, Mario Tennis. But a lot of the Mario games are more than one player, and they're great for co-op. Couch co-op to play together on one thing. I just miss the games like, God, I just miss a lot of the games like that, and it sucks nowadays, because having such an awesome game room, a big couch, a big comfy couch, a huge TV down here, you know, I think it's a 55-60 inch HDR TV and stuff like that. Having all these options for this to be able to do it, but not having the games to push through it. And I could go on and talk more and more about this, guys, but I honestly want to hear what you guys think. If you guys got some amazing I always want to call it coach sometimes. It's weird that it slides out the tongue like that. If you got some amazing couch co-ops games that was your favorite, and I mean, go back as far as you want or as new as you want, like Army of Two and stuff like that. If that was your favorite game growing up to play with a buddy, let me know. And if you got any stories about it, let me know in the comments below. I always talk to you guys that I love to read your comments. I'm not just trying to strive on views and subscribers and stuff on this channel. I'm actually trying to build a community. And I love reading your guys' comments. I love reading your replies to each other too, because, you know, it's not just about replying to what I think. I like to see, you know, positive. Obviously, usually I like to see the positive vibes that go on in this community, but also just the comments in general, the debates, and everything that's everybody's going. So I want to know what you guys think about this. Like I said earlier, it is very ironic to me that as the TVs and stuff have gotten bigger and the games have gotten better, that we've actually gone away from the couch gaming with more than one person. I know a few years back, I think it was, God, I can't remember which channel. Some of the channels did it for Valentine's Day, where they did lovers games, where couch co-op games that were great to play with your significant other and stuff. And that was kind of cool to me. But I want to know in the comments below, guys. Let me know what some of your favorite games are to play together, and do you guys still do that nowadays? And if there's any games that's come out that's more modern that I'm missing, besides the obvious ones, like I said, like the Mario games and stuff like that on Switch, what are some other games that have gone out lately that are more focused on couch co-op? And like I said, make sure you comment below. As always, stay retro, my friends, and we'll see you in the next video. Comment below. What is your favorite co-op games that you can play locally?